off, so we wait to another What's Next Wednesday. I hope that you, yes, you're right there, I'm talking to you, come here, bitch. I hope that you're excited for What's Next. Breaking news, Floptropicans. I hope that you're excited for this week's video, because this week we are going to be ranking some of the best memes from Floptropica, and I know y'all know Floptropica, but just in case you don't, let me tell you all about her. She is a fictional, no, she's my homeland. She's where I was born. She's where I was raised. I don't know anything else besides Floptropica. No. Now, Floptropica, aka the Queendom of Floptropica, is an internet island that has its own growing fan base. Not a fan base. Residency. Is its own growing residency. It's only ever growing in popularity. It exists as an internet meme with its own lore and its own struggles, and I am here to explain some of them today. Now, I'm going to be missing some of them, so if you see anything that I missed, any memes that you think should have been in the tier list, make sure you comment them down below so that maybe we can know that too. We have our beautiful tier list right here. Let's go through all of our rankings, if you will. Obviously, we're going to start at the bottom. So we have the straights. That's obviously the bottom. That is disgusting. And then above it, we have the Jiafei screen. I know y'all know it. And then mid, because it's mid. And then above it, we have CBR. And then, of course, above it, the top tier. The S tier, if you will. Mother. And we all know who's gonna go in Mother, but we're gonna talk about her. We're actually gonna talk about her right now. Speaking of Mother, our mother, Jiafei. Now, Jiafei was a meme that started around 2022-ish. She is a real woman. For a period of time, people didn't think she was a real woman. People thought she was an AI image of K-pop artists just mashed together. But no, she's a lady. She's a real lady, and her name is Daboyz.
Hello everyone, I'm Daboyz. I'm also Jiafei. As you can see, I'm a real person, not an AI. I'm a real person, not an AI.
And since becoming queen of Floptropica, Daboyz has really leaned into her persona as Jiafei, and she is now, you have to go check out her TikTok. She is making news statements. She's declaring wars.
Dear Floptropicans, I'm Queen Jiafei. Regretfully, I must inform you that the Daboyz war is on the verge of the erupting. The Daboyz have crossed into our territory at Floptropica's board.
Hello Floptropicans， 我是 Queen 加菲，在这里希望你们每个人都度过了愉快的节日。这3天以来，我亲自联合 Floptropica 的政府部门以及国民警卫队对 Nicki Minaj 事件展开了全面的调查。
In Floptropica, however, she is known for being, hello, obviously mother, obviously queen, but she's known for promoting products, but also being a little bit of a ruthless leader. That's what she's known for. Obviously, as you heard, she has her own scream. Let's hear it again. One more time. And she even has her own song. Now, am I going to try and pronounce the song name? No, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to butcher it. But here is the name of the song, and let's give her a little listen. Oh, hold on, wait, who am I? Oh, shit. So, of course, Mother obviously is going to have to go into the Mother tier. Hello. Jiafei she might even be the only one going in Mother tier. I could be lying, because next up, girl, we have our diva, our one, the only, our girl Cupcake. Hello. Floptopians, fellow flops, have been making remixes of Cupcake songs as early as 2016. 2016, girl? That was 10 years ago at this point. Flops have been around for a while. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I gotta say. She has many jobs in Floptropica. She is the host of, what was it? Flop Talks Got Talent, of course. How could I forget? I went on. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you saw the footage, but I did get to go on Flop Talks Got Talent. But she also is the host of Floptropica News, of course. But Sometimes Jiafei also does some news reports, as you've seen on her TikToks when she's declaring wars.
The Daboyz war is on the verge of the erupting.
Now, let me give you a little bit of a history lesson. We've got some notes right here for how Cupcake came to be in Floptropica. Sit down, grab your pencils, let's take some notes. I'm going to read you how Cupcake got to be a Floptropican. And the queen, one of the founders of Floptropica. In 2015, Cupcake booked a flight to Floptropica with her family and friends as a celebration after she got rich. When she arrived, everything was going so well for her. She mingled with the Floptropican locals, she drank coconut juice out of a coconut, and she sunbathed. However, it's always however, at night, when it came to the traditional Floptropican dance performance, the dance troupe had some problems with Daboyz invading their aircraft. So instead, Cupcake went on stage to perform her songs Deep Throat and Vagina. And the whole performance touched the Floptropican population inside so deeply, no sexual pun intended there, that they made her one of the queens of the country. Give her a kneel! What? Give her snaps! Give her snaps! Now the question is, should Cupcake go into CPR or should Cupcake go into Mother? Mother? She is one of the mothers of Floptropica. She's going in Mother. I don't know what I'm thinking. She's gotta go in Mother. She's Mother! That's looking right. Those two up there, that's looking right. That's looking correct. Not to get onto a little bit of a sad note, but speaking of history, we do have to learn some sad history about Floptropica. There's been 3 great wars. They're all the Baddussy War. There's been 3 great Baddussy wars. Sorry. But today, we're only going to be focusing on the first Baddussy War, okay? Now, this was a long war. It lasted almost 200 years. That's how long this war was. Hold on, I have dates and I have timestamps. It lasted from January 13th, 1705 to June 29th, 1990. That's a long war. It was rough. We lost so many Floptropicans. Now, if you're wondering the actual number, if you want to know the actual number, we had 20 million casualties and over 700 million injuries. And that was just on the flop side alone. However, luckily, the flops did win the Great Baddussy War #1. We're grateful, but it was flops versus Daboyz. We're gonna get into Daboyz later. Remember, we're gonna get into Daboyz later. But it was flops versus Daboyz, and Daboyz is always ran by Andrew Tate. The Great Floptropican War. Now, this is gonna be hard to rank because obviously it's a war, so we don't want it to happen. So it might go in the straights, but it's kind of like an important part of our history as Floptropicans, and it's good that we learned it and we won the war. We won the war. So I think we're gonna put the Great Floptropican War in mid because war is never a good thing. It never gets anything done. But also, we won! But we also did lose 20 million Floptropicans, so please don't forget that. And here's all their names. And we had 200 million casualties, not casualties, injuries. And so there were some devastating after effects, but we rebuilt, and Floptropica is thriving after the Great Baddussy War. Now, there were 2 more Great Baddussy Wars after it, so that we'll get into those for a different video. That's for a different video. Now, the Floptropica geography. Floptropica has about 10 different provinces, states, areas. I don't know. But they have 10 of them, and I have them. Trust me, I've got them all for us. If I butcher these names, though, if I butcher these names, you have to promise not to get mad. You have to promise not to comment about it. I don't deserve it. Look at these names. Look at them. Look at these names. Okay, so we, of course, have Jiafei. We have Jiafei, bitch. Jiafei? I don't know. We have Cumberty Island, which is ran by Wendy Williams. Do not forget, Wendy Williams is also a part of Floptropica. She's not on the list today, but again, part two. Part two. We have Cupcakea. We have Merflopia. We have Floptopia. We have New Barbados. We have New Bahamas. We have Floptakia. We have CVM, which is Contour Vast Mean Girl Island, ran by Trisha Paytas, of course. And then we have Potaxine. We have Potaxine. Now, personally, you want to know what island I'm from? Now, I did kind of grow up poor in Floptropica. Again, we're going to get to that later. The rich versus poor thing in Floptropica, because the wealth is just such divided in Floptropica. I'm just kidding. Now, I did grow up in Floptopia personally. That's kind of like the poorer side of Floptropica, but you know, if you know anything about growing up poor in Floptropica, you know how it goes. We'll get to it later. We'll get to it later, okay? However, for right now, the geography, I think geography has to go in CPR. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. That's the only thing that's calling to me, is that geography has to go in CPR, because Floptropica's geography is such a big part of who we are and how we came to be. And so putting that any lower, then honestly CPR just seems like a crime. And so that's going in CPR. The next thing we have to talk about is, I know we don't want to talk about it, but we have to. Daboyz. Now, Daboyz is a nation that does reject against flop culture and floptopians in general. They're typically filled with misogyny and heteronormativity. I want to use that word. That's a big word. I have it written down. And I want to use it in the video. Daboyz are very heteronormative. And it's gross. That's nasty. They're ran by Andrew Tate, and they do not like Mother Jiafei. They don't like her at all. They have been a part of every single Great Baddussy War, and I'm pretty sure, if I've got my history correct on Floptropica, I'm pretty sure they lost every single war. Now, again, not into wars, but talk about flops. No, we're flops. Talk about losers. Now, I don't want to hark on Daboyz too much. I don't want to stay on them too much. But all I'm gonna say is that they're, yeah. Again, this is gonna be another sensitive subject. So if you don't want to hear about the fall of Floptropica, go ahead and skip past this part. But it's an important part of our history that we must talk. It's an important part of our history that we must talk about, because yes, although Floptropica has always been such an oasis and such a getaway place for many, and it's been my home for many years since I've been born, there was a period of time where there was a fall of Floptropica. All of a sudden, TikTok was filled with propaganda videos of Floptropica, and then all of a sudden, Floptropica was just oversaturated, overextended. Everyone was talking about it, but then people couldn't really agree on what Floptropica was anymore. It was a hard time. The lore became so confusing for everyone involved, for people that have been there for a long time. The lore became confusing for the newcomers of Floptropica. It was becoming all too much, all at once, and it was really bringing Floptropica down to the point where people were calling it a dead meme. People were just hating on our nation.
Hot take, Floptropica isn't funny and is being heavily dragged.
With that being said, where should we put the fall of Floptropica? Honestly, okay, the fall of Floptropica I think is going to go in the Jiafei screen, because listen, it was a bad era. It was the worst era for us. It was rough for us Floptropicans, but to compare it to Straits? No, ma'am. We can't have all that. That's disgusting. And then we have the rebirth of Floptropica. After the fall, it was silent for a while. It was rough. We had to rebuild. And we came back. And we came back stronger, During this time, people started to really focus on the history and started to build the Floptropican history, if you will. Around this time is when the Great Wars finally got their timelines written down. The 195-year one, and then the other two. I'm pretty sure the Great Baddussy War of the Great Baddussy War number 3 was only a couple months long, but I think the second one was a few years long too. I can't remember though. I can't remember. Okay? I wasn't there for the second one. People began to make full-blown Floptropican documentaries. It was a topic people were talking about. They were making documentaries of the history of it. We were making documentaries of what went down during the wars. And don't even get me started, girl. Don't even get me started on the Labubu girl. That is a topic for a whole nother video. If I would put her, I should have included her on the list. I should have included her on the list because she would go with the straights. The Labubu lady would go with the straight. I got the first ever gold Labubu. She would go with the straights. We don't trust her. We don't like her. The difference between the golden age of Floptropica and this rebirth is that only the people... How do I put those? Only the people with taste were the ones that stayed. It was the people with taste that were the ones that stayed. It were the ones that helped rebuild Floptropica. The ones that were making the documentaries. Those are the ones that stayed and that made Floptropica the best island that it could be. Island? Nation. The best nation it could be. The meme, which started off as a global phenomenon, got smaller. But it got campier, it got funnier, it got better. Floptropica grew, and it's all because of this. It was all thanks to this rebirth. You can't, things come in waves, things happen, and so Floptropica, we were at our peak, we fell all the way down to our lowest low, and we're rebirth, and we are climbing back up. It stopped being a trend, and it started to become more of a lifestyle. That's what it felt like. That's how it feels to be a Floptropican. Have people constantly make fun of us and make memes about us when it's just our life. So for the rebirth of Floptropica, I think this one has to go. This is gonna go in CPR. I think the rebirth is gonna go in CPR because I freaking want it to. Okay. Last but not least, we have rich versus poor in Floptropica. Now, there's a huge difference, but this is the thing about Floptropica is that no one's really poor in Floptropica, if that makes sense. Even the poor grow up with mansions. 7-bedroom level mansions. 4-story level mansions. We all have private islands. We all have yachts. We all have designer outfits. We all get the best food. That's what's like being poor in Floptropica. And there are so many videos that are like, POV, you grew up poor in Floptropica. Flash a few on the screen. Flash a few on the screen. Flash a few on the screen. And it's really what it felt like growing up in that era, honestly. It felt... I remember going to school and I was embarrassed that I only had 7 yachts while most of my classmates usually had like 10, 15 yachts. That's the shame that I felt, is that I just had less yachts than everybody. And it's fine. I'm rich now and I got my yachts. The poor in Floptropica don't struggle. That's the whole point of Floptropica. We don't want struggle. That is the whole joy of Floptropica. This is Floptropica's version of oppression. Aesthetic inconvenience. There was a stinky stink bug flying around the room and it was on the ceiling, so I sprayed it. I'm not playing about them, but you can't squish them because then they're gonna start stinking, and I don't want my room to be stinky. Poopy? So obviously the rich versus poor of Floptropica. I think for me, this is really just like the poor of Floptropica. We don't really talk about the rich. Again, there's going to be a part 2 of this video for sure. So comment down below what memes you want or what Floptropica what iconic Floptropican moments you want me to talk about in a rank, make sure you comment those below, because I know we literally talked about the Labubu queen. I forgot to put her on this list. I really should put the Labubu lady on this list, because her rise and fall should literally be like documented. It should be a documentary, the way this lady, us as Floptropicans all just brought her into our nation, accepted her as one of us, just for her to do what she did and start a war with Jiafei, our queen. It's not okay. It's literally not okay. I really should have put her on there. For the poor side of Floptropica, that's gonna get rated at the Jiafei scream. Oh, the Jiafei scream, because, you know, at the end of the day, you're still poor, but you don't struggle. You never struggle in Floptropica. You get free access as a poor person. You get free access to every single Cupcake concert. Who doesn't want that? I want to go to every single Cupcake concert, and I have, and I did growing up. I went to every single one growing up. Do you know what it's like to hear vagina live? I'm sure you don't, but I do. I know exactly what it's like. I actually do. I actually wish, because I really want to go to an actual Cupcake concert. I've been seeing videos of them, and they look fun! And she always talks about that girl. Okay, ladies. This is going to be the official tier list, if you will, of our Floptropican moments, memes, whatever you're going to call them. This is the official ranking. Obviously, there are hundreds of thousands of Floptropican memes. So, again, comment down below your favorite ones, and maybe they'll be in the next one, okay? But I feel pretty good about this tier list. I feel pretty good. That picture of Kris Jenner is really looking at me. It's just really staring at me. Alright, well ladies, that's gonna be it for me this video. I hope that you liked it. This is sort of different for me. I never really do tier rankings, but
which is something very different for me.
But I love watching them, so I was like, I have to do one. I have to do one. So I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I'll do another one. Like I said, I really want to do a part 2 of this video and rank some more. We'll include the Labubu Queen, which she will be going in the straight category. I'm just letting you know right now, she will be going into the straight category. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go and follow me on all of my social medias. They're going to be listed all right down there in the description below. There's going to be links. And make sure you go listen to my podcast. It's called Chatterbox Crew. Me and my co-host Maria are the funniest bitches alive. So I know you don't want to go miss it. We post videos we post episodes every single Thursday, and oh my god, I am struggling with my words tonight, right? We post episodes every single Thursday. I post What's Next Wednesdays every single Wednesday. So make sure you come back next Wednesdays, because you never know what's gonna be next. Mwah! I love you guys so much, and I appreciate you all for watching. Mwah! 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 Bye.